Hey guys, 10 to 2. We're about to go in and have a workout at the gym. Now, this is also a testament to my character because it's part of my habits talking like this. Now, when I was younger, I didn't talk like this, put stuff online. But it's a statement of no fear. But once we get to the end of December, it's only going to be one 10-minute talk a week from January to June. I just don't want anyone probing me. Oh, sometimes I get prompted to do messages because I see recordings I like from channels I'm watching, whether it be Hunter Salazar, Terry Joel Jr. or Trinius Henderson, or any of the other channels, Teal Swan. But then there's others. It's like I bump into things I see online, or I know that there's people that are stalking me and following me and that type of thing. But I call out the ones who do that. Now, those ones I said previously, I like them. They're not doing it. So the ones I said, the ones, Demise Coaching is another one. But then there's other ones. I don't want to give them any recognition. Like if they got like triple the amount of followers as me, but then you got big ones, and that's happening because all of a sudden people are showing up at your workplace wearing the exact same clothes as them when they are making a recording about their opinion and how anyone who believes this is an idiot, and they basically say everything you said, and you're like, that's funny, like within the first day, so it's a consideration. But then, couple of weeks go by and you find out that within the first day that you put a recording out, these people put a recording out there, and it's either trashing anyone that has your perspective, but they don't say your name because they don't want to give you clout, right? They don't want to give me clout because they might have 250,000 followers or 300,000, and they don't agree with what I say, and so they're, But then you just keep an eye. Couple of weeks go by, and it's like, oh yeah, because it might have been just a coincidence. But if it's been going for a week or two, that's not a coincidence. And there's certain channels where I've had people that don't look exactly the same, but they're lookalikes. This is not relatives, and they show up and they dress a similar way too, and you talk to them, and they start talking about the things. They start sounding the same as the person whose channel you've watched for a couple of weeks, because you notice that for a couple of weeks or a month, every time you've put out a recording, they've done a recording about the same topic, and it's either trashing what you have to say, but they don't say your name because they got a much bigger following, or it's they just don't go right out of the way to trash everything you say by saying anyone who believes this and this and is they are unevolved. They're unevolved if they have these opinions, and then the opinions they share in that recording is exactly what you said, and you're like, is this a coincidence? Possibly. But if that happens every day, if you're uploading every day and it goes on for a couple of weeks, you're like, nah, this is not a coincidence. And then you see people who dress in the same clothing that they were wearing when they made those recordings, trashing your recording, show up at your workplace or show up else, like where you frequent. Like they sometimes show up here at the gym, and it's like, I mean, I'm questioning. I've always questioned this, and I've always come up with answers. But there's always a time of transition into new beliefs for the new season. I don't like the feelings that you get when you're in the transition, because for me it's always, how do I put it? Yeah, full circle, but also I don't want to speak it into being, because I don't want it to happen this way, but it always tends to happen this way. Shit hits the fan before the breakthrough comes in. Like, before I bought this car, and guess what? I was able to pay it off straight away when I first bought this car. The car I had previously, I had to pay it off over a space of 2 years because of the lack of money I had at the time. Now I was able to just pay this one off. It was $2,000, second-hand, or, pre-used. And I've had it for a year and 5-6 months now. As of October 2025, it'll be 2 years. Wait, no, October 2022, I started my job at Amagad, and it was 7 months later I had enough money. I had I saved up, what's it, $2,000? Something like that. Because you got to pay for the Uber to and fro the train stations when it's raining, and then if you put other places, and of course, if you have to wait an hour or an hour and a half before the train shows up, the only other option that you have is to catch an Uber, which will cost you, from the airport to back home, it costs about $200. I've heard people over talking all the time. They're talking like that, it's like, and it's a taxi. They're taxi, yeah. Ubers are cheaper. But I'm just questioning things, because no matter whenever it is that you look into the Bible or you look into Norse myth or Celtic myth, there's always these stories that relate to where you're at. Whether you're struggling, whether you're succeeding, it doesn't matter. There's always stories that relate to where you're at, and then people say, oh, you know what? If you're not prospering, it's because you're not following God, or you're not following your heart's desire, or you're not following the universe. Okay, so was Jesus following God when he was destitute and poor, financially speaking? Was Jesus following God when he got nailed to the cross for our sins? And the prophets in the Old Testament, the prophets in the Old Testament, were they following God when they were killed? Were they following God when they were enslaved, right? Now, on the positive, obviously there's a whole bunch of stories like King Solomon and King David and even Daniel and the prophet Daniel, and these other ones in the New Testament, like the Roman centurion that Jesus said he hadn't seen faith like him back in Israel. These are stories where they were following God and prospering. Yeah, just ponderings and things I'm thinking about. Yeah. And there's other things too I could say, Norse myth and stuff, Celtic.